Hey guys, Connor here, political scientist and teacher. Today I'm going to talk about Elon Musk, and this is the first video in a series on money and politics. Now, personally, I like Elon Musk. I know he's incredibly successful as CEO of Tesla and Spacex and Neuralink, and a new AI company I just recently heard about. I forget the name, but he's been doing great things for the planet. And I actually do quite like the guy, though sometimes he can tweet things that I don't agree with, like when he proposed the dick measuring contest with Zuckerberg. That was something I was like, why are you doing this, man? Come on, you're the richest man in the world. Anyways, he's worth $250 billion now, and I'm here to talk to you about why that's a bad thing. So let's rewind. Back in 2016, when Trump was running for president, Hillary Clinton gave these speeches to Goldman Sachs, and Trump railed against her, saying like, those speeches make her corrupt. She's beholden to Goldman Sachs. You know, she's going to get into the office to do favors to Goldman Sachs. And I actually agreed with him. I did think that the speeches made Hillary corrupt, and I didn't want to vote for her. I mean, Republicans and Democrats agreed, like, damn, that's bad. And anyways, if $600,000 can make a politician corrupt from those speeches, imagine what $200 billion could do. 200 billion of Elon's money. Now, not to mention, the power of money in politics goes so deep that even someone who was anti-establishment like Trump, once he became president, he appointed Steve Mnuchin and Gary Cohn, who were both high-level partners of Goldman Sachs. Steve Mnuchin left with $50 million in company stock, and Gary Cohn had a $285 million severance package. And to me, that is just pretty crazy. They helped write the Trump tax plan, which, as we later found out, gave 83% of the benefits to the top 1%. Now back to Elon. His company Spacex, they lobby politicians for policy favors, and they donate to politicians across the board, Democrats and Republicans. And they've recently, in the past few years, been awarded with $5 billion in contracts to take astronauts to the moon, or whatever it is. I don't know the specifics. And part of why they got these contracts awarded, one of the reasons why is because they donated politicians, and they lobbied to the tune of over $2 million in this cycle. And this is all made possible by Citizens United, a Supreme Court ruling that took place back in 2010 that allowed money in politics as we know it. Gave it First Amendment protections, protected it as free speech. Now, here, this website is called Open Secrets, and it's a great resource for looking at different company profiles and seeing who is getting the money and how much money they're getting from corporations. And it doesn't take that much. These politicians, they'll sell out for pennies on the dollar based on what these corporations are making. These multi-billion-dollar corporations, they just make these small donations, 3K, 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 5K, 6K, across the board to all the politicians, and then they got them all on payroll. It's really that simple. And as you know, Elon recently acquired Twitter for $44 billion, and whether or not you like the changes he's made to the company, obviously, one change that he made was very big, and it involved firing 80% of Twitter's workforce. Now, imagine that. You're just going to work. It's an average day, and you hear the news, Elon has bought your company, and then he fired you because he doesn't think you're worth a shit. Wouldn't that be crazy? And Elon has the power to buy a whole bunch of different companies, and a lot of people will say, like, well, it's his money, he can do what he wants. Yeah, until you're working in one of the companies he bought, and then he fires your ass because he doesn't think you're helping. Okay, then it matters to you. And he has the power to absorb so many different companies. He just chose not to because he has like 400 million shares of Tesla. He doesn't really need to own any more companies. Now, back to money in politics. Presidential elections with each cycle are going to be costing more and more money. And that's just an upward trend. The politicians are going to be more beholden to big money interests, billionaires financing their presidential campaigns. And if that wasn't enough, here's some more articles basically showing that most of the new wealth generated in the US is going to the top 1%. And over the past 20, 30 years, the wealth inequality has gotten obscene. And this is money that's basically taken from the working class by the billionaires. Now, billionaires aren't your friend, okay? They're just looking to make a dime off of you. If $500,000 meant the difference between saving your life, and you ask the billionaire for that money and say, no, I don't care if you die. That's how billionaires are. They'd rather just save their money, and they don't give a shit about you, okay? It's the way it is. Now, this all really rubs me the wrong way because I personally don't think anyone should have over $1 billion, much less $250 billion, when people can't afford healthcare. They're going bankrupt from healthcare. If they can't afford it, they're going to just die. We have thousands of people every year that die from being unable to afford healthcare. Meanwhile, we have these billionaires, $200 billion, and when we talk about taxing them more, everyone's like, oh, it's his money. Yes, that's how the discussion started. We're talking about what would be better for society, okay? One person hoarding all this wealth and accumulating power over our society, being able to buy all these politicians, bankroll their campaigns, or a more equitable interface where we have people able to afford healthcare, universal healthcare at a lower cost per capita, and a whole bunch of other changes we could make with that money. We could just like level up our infrastructure, make the society that created these billionaires level that up along with them. So it's a rising tide lifts all boats type of situation. Instead, we have these billionaires hoarding the money and just laughing to the bank, tweeting like they don't give a damn. And it's just crazy. On top of that, these corporations that are making billions of dollars each year in revenue and net profit, a lot of them don't even pay tax. As Bernie Sanders detailed, he had a long list of companies that didn't even pay a dime in federal tax, or they get tax rebates. And that's pretty crazy, You pay more tax than Amazon does, the multi-billion-dollar corporation. Is that fair to you? No? Well, the reason that hasn't changed is because the billionaires have all this power over the politicians. Why do they have all that power over the politicians? Because of all the money they have. Okay, it's all connected. But for some reason, when you look at Elon Musk and other billionaires, people's minds kind of turn off. They get emotional about it. The logical part of their brain stops working. They see Hillary Clinton, she gave these speeches to Goldman Sachs for money. That's corruption. But Elon Musk having $200 billion is not a problem. I see that as a problem because you could donate all that money to politicians and make them corrupt in the same way that Hillary was corrupt for giving those speeches to Goldman Sachs. In the next video, I'm going to talk more about policy, Citizens United, and that's why this is all happening. Stay tuned. If you like the video, like and subscribe. I'm working on getting better with this YouTube channel.